All right, guys. So let's talk about all of our images. You guys have done a lot of asset creation for your game. You've created your characters, started to do the frames for their animation. Let me open up GIMP, wherever it is. What we need to do now, and this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy process, we need to start building for being able to pull those images. And one of the things that you need to do is all those files that you did that are XCF that you did in GIMP or whatever other software you're using to draw, you need to make those as PNG images. However, there's specifics on how you're going to name them. So let me see if I can open up something that I already have. All right, so let me get to in your projects. You had a bunch of images for your animations. The issue that you're facing now is what to do with those images to start putting them in. Now, you could just pull each image one at a time, load it in your game. You're going to bog down your game because it's going to start taking up a lot of space. It has to work really hard to process all those images. So if you had something like this, there we go. All right, so this is an XCF file. This is one of the frames. What we want is we need to actually export this out as, instead of it being an XCF, we need to export it out as a PNG. So the easiest way to do that, and almost all image manipulation software is going to have this, you can export as, and then you are going to export as a PNG. So you're going to give it a name, .png. Now, we don't want to just give any name. We don't want to say, right facing, left facing. What we want to start doing is we want to start kind of going into region, especially for the animations that we're doing. So let me show you how I have built mine. And this will make it ultimately easier on you when you get to do the animation. So let's say I'm looking at my dragon. Okay, if the animation that I'm doing is him attacking, I'm just going to call it Dargon attack and then underscore, and then I'm going to start naming all of the frames for the animation. So in this animation, for him to attack, he takes 9 frames. So each one is going to be named in sequence. Okay, there's a reason why we do this is so that we can end up having regions separated out in our texture packer, because what we want to do is we want to optimize how we're loading images. So the best way to do it is, instead of having each one individually and then have to get loaded and drawn, and then we have another one that's loaded and drawn, what we ultimately want is we want like a big animation sheet of all of our textures. So let me load this one. This is a PNG. Now this is all of my animations, all loaded in. So there's all the facing and they're all on there. They may be all over the place. That's okay. Because the PNG is paired with an atlas file. And let me open this atlas file. So it's really, really simple. It's going to end up saying which file it came from, the size, the format, if there's any filtering. And then there are regions. And the regions are broken down by the name, and then it's going to start giving an index. Okay, so it's giving the X and Y value where it's located, the size of the image, if there's any offsets, but arrow down, so that's arrow down 1, arrow down 2. So that's why I name it with what it is, and then an underscore and the number. This makes it ultimately easier to load animations because you can just look for it in your Atlas file. So if you have not renamed all of your files so that they are in sequence for each one, for every frame for that animation, you need to do that now as you export those images from whatever file format to PNG. Okay, and then in the next video I'll start talking about doing a texture packer and building an atlas. Okay, if it's a static image, you can just name it as the image. Okay, because what we will be able to use, if it's just a single image and not an animation, we can just find that specific region. But for animations, we need to find all of them that have that similar name and in sequence. Okay? All right, so go ahead and rename all your stuff if you haven't already. Make sure that they are all located in one folder. So your folder structure in Android, you should probably start creating a folder, say, for all of your sprites, which would be all of the animations for all of your entities. And inside of that, you will have an input folder that is going to have all of your PNG images. Okay? We need that so that we can start moving our stuff. Now, you could have your input folder off of your game for, when you get ready to actually release, but while you're doing development and you're using GitHub for it, you want to keep that synced up. Okay, so you should have a input folder where all your PNG images are, and ultimately we're going to have an output folder that is where we're going to push all the packed images together into our atlas. All right, okay, go ahead and make those changes, and then see me in the next video where we start talking about texture packer. All right, good luck, have fun.